Hey y'all, how you doing? This is Randy, Mobile Traveler. Hey Max, uh, I'm running a little bit late today. Go figure. Anyway, get this thing going with comments. I'm gonna start this live. We're sitting right here in the truck, and we're gonna drive over and see if my man Kenny's home. We're not really sneaking up on him, but he was expecting me about 15 minutes ago. Hey Lady T, how you doing? So I'm gonna flip you around here, and you can see how we gotta get into where we're going. Hey Freckles, be me. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Hope everything's been okay. Anyway, like I say, we gotta drive up to him, and I didn't want to make you guys wait too long. So this is what bumpy road. This is what we get to deal with here at the RTR 2019. But I got a four-wheel drive. We're good. Okay, that's good to hear, Freckles. We take you around here. Catherine, where you been hiding at? You need to tell Homer to come see me when I get done with this, all right? Yeah, hopefully Kenny's there for me. Laura Medley, hello. Yeah, Freckles, the rain stopped. It hasn't been rainy today. So anyway, we're coming up on his cane. We're gonna sneak up on him. Like I say, hopefully he's there and he's had a chance to clean up. That would suck if he didn't. Oh, RV Davey, how you doing, brother? Raining where you're at, huh? All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna take the camera out and try to put it on a selfie stick as we talk. Hey, C-Dub. Okay, we're gonna try to do this. Give me a minute. I'm gonna have to use my old selfie stick today because I can't find my new one. So we're gonna move back. Just a minute here. You got that's really a cool build, isn't it? That is neat. All right. There he is. Yeah, he doesn't know I'm live yet, people, so don't scream and holler now. Kenny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I've
Good.
been doing an open house all day and I'm just exhausted.
I
man.
bet.
I bet. Had 60 or 70 people. I've been doing it since last Tuesday, so I'm finally just like...
So you got your spiel all ready for us, huh?
Oh, yeah. I've done it like 25 or 30 times today and probably every day since last week. I don't know what people want to hear, so I'm just...
Well...
What do I say? You know, but yeah, I've got my spiel all so worn down.
But anyway, people,
yeah.
This is Kenny.
Hi.
And yeah, this is the people. This is his rig here. I met Kenny. Oh, the beginning of the RTR, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we saw this rig here, so we've been kind of trying to get together with him, and so I can show it to you, good folks. Where do you want to start, Kenny? You know what?
Yeah. Why don't you tell
Let's
me?
Go sit back on your porch.
I was going to say the same thing.
Let's sit down on your porch.
I've been on my feet for
hours. You take a break there.
My back gets to me after a while because
yeah.
You think I'd be in, I know I'm building all this thing. I thought
and me, I can't sit down.
Oh, you can't. Oh,
just because I can't sit down right now because my medication is making my legs go crazy.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I'm gonna prop this up there though, because I got my other. This is the wrong selfie stick. But this way, if I prop it up, I can read the comments.
Oh yeah, good.
All right.
Yeah, really.
So.
Okay, got a comment already.
No. You ready to grow?
Huh?
Tell me your story there, Kenny,
Yeah, sure.
in a nutshell.
And yeah, I was gonna say I started out as a child. No.
Start off as a child, huh?
I've been building and renovate things all my life. I've kind of worked up all the skills that you need to do things at one at a time. But then this was a challenge because I wouldn't have built it out of just sticks and stuff. But if I could build it with styrofoam panels and glue plastic to it and kind of create my own structural reinforced panel.
So this is built with styrofoam.
Styrofoam, well, not styrofoam, 2-inch extruded polystyrene.
Oh, polystyrene.
Yeah,
So it's lightweight.
The pink stuff. Well, these
Yeah.
fiberglass panels are pretty heavy. So I'm assuming this thing probably weighs as much as it did to begin with. But I got the rigid stability, and then and then I got the continuous insulation that seals it up pretty well airtight. And then but there's a wood structure around the door,
Right.
So that they'll stay, and it even sits crooked. It closes really well, pretty well. Got fairly good air sealing. So with the your air leakage is probably a bigger problem than styrofoam. But they are so 2-inch styrene or extruded polystyrene is an R10.
Okay.
And then gluing this stuff on creates a structural panel, and then I
Right.
glued the wood on the outside, and made the panels individually. So I put a panel out on the garage
So
floor.
you basically pre-made it and then
Yeah.
put it together.
There's 4 of these, 4x8 sheets cut down to 7 foot.
Right.
Laid it down on the garage floor, put Gorilla Glue back and forth on it, and then ran a bead of great stuff foam around there, and then took these plastic panels,
Right.
put them on there, put a piece of plywood on it, put a bunch of wood on it so it'd hold it real tight
Sure.
together while the Gorilla Glue expanded. You want your Gorilla Glue really thin
Yeah.
and it expands like crazy. And then I made the panel, and I was able to stand the panels up. The floor's built pretty much the same way with some deck boards in
like
there.
anybody, yeah.
Stuck deck boards for some structural
Oh, cool.
stability. So it was kind of like it was more about the building it, I guess, if I was to say anything other than being something that I really had envisioned in a big picture. I just built this back trailer as an experiment, and then I found the RV in July, and so when I found this our old 1976 Dodge RV sitting at the side of the road, I knew I had to buy it, and then I knew I had to tear the whole rotten back off of it, and so I could set this trailer on the back of it, and then built all the front part to match the back part.
So it was an old 76 Dodge Class C.
Class C, right. And
That's what it began as.
With a 400 Chrysler motor in it.
Right.
And and
excellent.
It's got 66,000 miles on it.
Wow, that's very low mileage.
Right. Yes, because it got turned into a party van. They had gutted it 20 years ago and put some seats in it. So I think all they did was drive to the football games 5 miles away for 20 years.
Oh, you bet. Yep.
A little traveling party thing. So it didn't get many miles on it. Motor seems good. Didn't burn hardly any oil on the 1,500-mile drive out here.
Yeah.
And I was worried about something breaking, but nothing broke.
Oh, that's cool.
And we're still worried about something, but it seems pretty solid. It does, like I said, get power steering, just minor concerns. I changed all the fluids.
Normal stuff.
Yeah, changed the wires and things, and it seems to run okay. But if you call running okay, I'm driving 60 miles an hour, 61, 62 when I'm getting brave, right? But
yeah.
It feels like the tires may be a little unbalanced. They're really old tires. They got a lot of tread on.
Where'd you drive it from, Kenny?
Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas.
Manhattan, Kansas, all the way to the RTR.
All the way to the RTR. Actually, I drove it in November out to Scottsdale where my sister is. And
so okay.
It was parked there.
So you took a little time to get here.
It took a little time. I worked on it a little bit more there in November, but I spent Christmas, December with my family at Olympia, and then I came back to Phoenix and got it ready to roll down the road and figuring out what I was going to need for food and water. And
right.
I don't have any solar on it. Well,
but,
actually, yeah. Here's my solar system.
Right he's got a big solar system
there
here, people.
Go. Stand back. It powers,
what do you got, about 5 watts?
It powers everything, yeah. But I've got a space underneath this cedar chest where I can put my batteries.
Well, let me jump up in here.
Come on.
Oh, look at it. See, he's got his own personal little step to step up on.
And that's actually is a bike rack.
A bike, yes. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll come back to that, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And so this is an old cedar chest, right? That
my
great-grandfather made for my grandmother, and I have space in here for the batteries and the controllers.
Oh, sure.
And a big old flat roof up here that I can mount some panels on when I get to the next phase. But I just haven't figured out how many panels how much I want, how big a controller.
Right.
But I was here to kind of get that information. And a
And
lot of people have helped
look
me
at
out.
the cupboards. He's got old what do you call them?
There's a
Lawyer
barrister-
shelves.
There's the stackable bookshelves.
The
stackable
barristers.
Barrister book. Yeah.
Barrister
bookshelf.
bookshelves.
And then this one doesn't have any glass in it,
Right.
and so I don't have to worry about wiggling it around.
And he's got 3 of them sitting here.
Three, and actually the fourth one's over here, which I just hang the clothes on, on the bottom of that. So
That's pretty
I'm
nice.
thinking about figuring out how to move the closet potentially into the shower section, and be able to maybe slide it in and out, because I don't know, I probably showed you this before. I can actually take the root this loose and bring it around here, and I could actually slide clothes in and out, maybe on a big clothes rod here.
Yeah.
And when I'm taking a shower, which I've taken maybe 3 of since I've built this thing 3 years ago,
Right.
I can pull the towels out on this little under countertop thing and then put the curtain inside of it.
And it's still.
And it's so it keeps them dry, and your towels are right there.
You know what I'm figuring out, people? Kenny utilizes just about anything he can. You see this wall we're looking at? And where did the door come from?
I've had the door for 35 years. It was out in this old barn that we had.
And it was an old farmhouse door.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're using it as a wood a wall. That's great.
This is a kitchenette out of a really old camper trailer that I had first, and then the old door would have been. Managed to get a refrigerator to fit in there that I got from the Restore for $25. But I need enough power to run a 120 volt refrigerator. But
okay,
I think it might not be that bad, that small. I might get a Dometic or something.
When I was talking to Kenny, when I first met him, he said he got a lot of his stuff from what they call a Restore.
Yeah. The Habitat for Humanity Restore. They have it all over the country.
Yes.
And it's just been a great. I mean, I couldn't name the number of things that I got from them. I can't name a few of them: the sink, the shower pan, the faucet in there, and just tons of things that are on the outside. The wainscoting boards that are on the outside.
Yeah, we'll show you the outside there in a minute. What size bed you got there, Kenny?
Actually, this is a standard 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Okay.
Then the corners have been cut off, and it's cut down to like 7 foot. So it's 4 foot from here to the window. But then when you got the diagonal cutoffs, it doesn't fit quite as well. But I got a bed extension piece that I can sit on here if I figure out how to make a mattress that I can spread around.
Oh, so you
actually the piece that's going to go on there is that piece. I will go back to it. No, this headboard.
Oh, okay.
This piece of wood right here.
That piece of wood there is for your bed extension.
That will come up here and sit on there to make a bed extension.
Okay.
And it's actually the top out of an old Murphy bed that I probably told you the
yes, you did.
Murphy bed parts, and the part underneath here that's from the Murphy bed. I've got the fold down front piece as the headboard in here. We might get around to looking at that.
Yeah.
And then I did put a fantastic fan in.
Oh, let's see this fantastic
There's nothing
fan.
fantastic about it other than this is how the walls look. This is an 1.5 inch piece of the foam. I used 2 inches and glued these together.
Okay.
Turns out when I cut that out of there, it'll just fit right back in there.
That's a good spot for it.
Lucky, it seals that off, gives me a little bit more insulation.
Exactly.
Not like one of many things that was never planned it to be the way it turned out.
Right. So you, the Restore.
Restore. Oh yeah, the doors on the outside are $5 doors from the Restore when they were on sale. These doors here, these French doors came from the Restore. I had to buy a frame.
Okay. I'm gonna step down here, people. Hang on. Okay, little jiggly. All right. Yeah, he's got French doors on the back of this.
Right.
Let's see. It's really kind of neat. I'm loving this porch. So he's got a back porch. Do you want to tell people how this back porch folds up, Kenny?
Sure. Okay. I've told so many people, I feel like it might be time to actually demonstrate.
Oh, do you want to demonstrate it?
It might not be harder than it looks.
What? Nah, you know what?
Okay. No.
You don't have to. This back porch actually folds up for travel.
And so there's hinges, and we might do this a little later if somebody's really asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
That folds down. So there's just wing nuts on these too with carriage bolts. These boards lay down flat against that.
Okay.
And this part lays down flat against here.
The back, yeah.
And then turnbuckles and tied up, and then that folds up, and then that turns into the bike rack. The step
Okay.
becomes the bike rack.
So it's just a puzzle.
It's it's
Yeah.
It's a little puzzle, and it's really not that hard to do. I might have to just do that if somebody cares enough to ask. Anybody ask?
Do you guys want to see him fold it up?
I'll do probably practically anything somebody asks me to do. Right? Dance and sing. No.
Let's go around the outside here,
Yeah,
people.
Let's do that.
And now, go ahead and tell me what about this outside here. What did you?
And this is it's called wood flooring. It's a mahogany board, but it's only about 1/8 of an inch thick.
Okay.
I bought a bunch of boxes of this back 40 years ago, and had glued it to walls and done a lot of things with it.
Yeah.
I had enough left to where I could glue it straight to this styrofoam.
Okay.
Press it down into place, and then I found this board up here, this wainscoting. Is like the little strip boards, tongue and groove,
Right.
glued together and cut into shape to fit into those panels.
Okay.
I found that after it got the front, so the whole thing gets tied together.
Right.
Underneath that is the canvas, and the canvas flips up over or rolls out, covers the top, and it seals it up to make it watertight.
Yeah.
Glued down with Tite Bond 2 and painted with latex and oil-based paint.
And regular house windows.
And those were from the Restore.
Yay.
Now, I had to buy front ones to match. This was like $25 at the Restore.
Right.
And the smaller one was 100 and something at the big box store. But,
Okay.
but I had to match the front ones to the back ones when I found
Oh, yeah.
when I added the front design, so it seemed like it would fit together.
Now you got a little garage area here.
Yeah, and it kind of worked out because that was when it was a trailer. I don't know if I explained that. This was the back edge of the original trailer, and that's why
Okay.
those things folded up, because the hitch was on there, and I needed to pull it, and I thought I'd get more aerodynamic.
Okay.
So the trailer ended here, and it was on a small frame, so I was able to jack it up and set it on here. After
Okay.
this part was built, so when I had room, I had the Restore doors that fit just exactly into the space that I
Right.
had. And then indented it far enough to hang stuff on, and then can fold up the ironing board.
Old ironing board he's using for an outside table here, people. Restore.
People are asking me if I
Yes.
if I iron. I say no. I'm gonna make this into a liquor cabinet. I'm gonna get some bar stools, and we'll just put up the open sign. And
Yeah. That's right, Davey. You definitely got to keep it treated. The whole house, you got to keep it treated.
Okay, so yes. So I've used exterior grade polyurethane. This was built a couple of years ago, and so I did actually stain these boards. I didn't like the color so much, so I didn't. This is the exact same boards that's here that isn't stained, but this held up better with stain. But then it's just been layer and layer of marine grade, polyurethane.
Okay.
And so you have to get a marine grade stuff now, or a good polyurethane.
Right.
And then kind of lightly sand it and coat it. And so I coated the front and the back before I put this up, so it wouldn't get any moisture in behind it.
Good idea.
And it's basically just glued and caulked into this space, but it's got a lot of polyurethane on it.
Yeah.
And it really, I don't know what it'll do in terms of changing colors. This is darker, by some patina sort of being developed. So actually, when I built the front on this here, I had to figure out how to match a stain so it would look like the old boards.
Right.
And some of it went better than others, but I forgot what was going to work on there or not. So.
Yep. Well, Kenny, this is a sweet build. What when you're driving down the road, how does it act?
It drives, at 60 miles and 62, it just drives fine. When the giant semi comes by and it hits you with that wake, I get a little bit of a shake.
Little shake and shimmy like anything would.
Hardly any at all. I just don't like going that slow most of the time. But
Well,
I get up much higher than that. I think the wheels may not be balanced. It feels like
Okay.
it's just not as comfortable.
Well, yeah, and
65, 70.
it's a dually,
Yeah.
so
So it's kind of like driving an old truck, I guess.
yeah,
Not used to driving things that are that large,
right.
but now it ran fine. It was
Just
putter,
travels
putter,
right on
putter
down the
right
road
on
and-
down the road. Now you get into the hills, you're down to 45, pull into second gear. It's just
Right.
a 3-speed automatic, so it's not a very
Right.
much of a transmission.
And you said it was a 400 for a motor?
400 Chrysler, yeah, it's 1976, like they used to put in the Dodge Chargers and
Oh yeah, yeah.
in the hot rods. So it's got dual exhaust. So you start it up, it can sound pretty mean,
Oh yeah.
but when you get it out on the road, it doesn't.
You didn't put glass packs on it or anything,
It
did
does.
you?
No, they had put new exhaust. They had put new exhaust in, but
It would be fun.
I can start. No, it sounds like a hot rod. I was a kid, never had a hot rod.
Never
so
had one.
it
Now you got a
sounds
hot
just
rod
like-
camper.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
do you have any idea what the weight is?
7,500 pounds.
7,500 pounds dry or
Dry. Yeah, dry.
Okay.
Just after the whole build was done, but and when I had it down to the platform, I'd torn all the old RV off, and I just had the cab and the platform. It was already
Right.
4,500 pounds.
Okay.
With just all that giant steel, structure,
Oh, yeah.
and so it's got a lot of good bottom weight.
Exactly.
I don't feel like it get cross. I don't feel any. It seems like it's just stable with the dual.
right.
wheels.
I'm gonna walk around here. I'm gonna show you guys the front. This is what caught my eye. The octagon window up top. I mean, could you imagine this driving down the road coming at you? You guys are gonna want to stop it, aren't you? Or from the back.
Or for the back.
From the back. I'm gonna be like,
really
what?
should- Yeah.
Oh, hey, you know what? What is this? I know that's not how you spell Dodge. So what is this ego thing on there?
It turns out that my ego's so big now that it needs its own parking space.
Oh, the man's got jokes too. He will be here all week, people.
Come here.
The
Come to
ego's
next
so
show.
big. Okay. Yeah, you see, there's, I guess the name of the rig is Ego.
Ego.
All right.
It's
All
look
right.
Look at how it presents itself to the world. It's got its own ego there.
Yes, it does.
It's pretty proud of itself, but also what it really does is it shows you're big, friendly, nice kind of guy. People
Yeah.
stop and talk to me all the time because it's just sort of like, well, how dangerous can a guy be in a vehicle like that?
Exactly.
And everybody's got a question to ask you, so it makes for great conversation.
And you probably haven't had time to do anything
No.
because everybody's talking to you.
I have had, I don't even know how many, 50, 60 people a day probably stop by.
Yeah.
So I've been in tours. I go over to the fires. I've been to all the seminars.
Oh,
I've been to the evening fires because
Yeah.
I wanted to learn. I'm here to learn as much as possible, and I'm
Right.
really looking forward to some more information on the solar possibilities. Although I kind of I just have to make the decision of how much and how big and
right.
and figure out how I want to install it. So.
Exactly.
But I've gotten a lot of information. I've talked to a lot of people. I can't say I've come any closer to a conclusion now. But maybe by the end of the week, and maybe I'll go back and work on that, or I might just travel on with the caravans and the people that are going on out,
Yeah.
traveling from here, which would give me a lot of confidence to travel with people for a while. I go out
Yeah.
to boondock. Something I've never done. I've only driven this thing, from Kansas, and I've never had an RV. I've never drove an RV. I've never boondocked.
Well,
other than,
You're
camper.
You're welcome to join me.
Well, I heard you guys were
You know.
going to Slab City, maybe.
I'm not going into Slab City. No.
Okay. Well,
No.
I was heard that with
No.
the right group you might. But where are you going then?
I'm actually going to be host of Caravan 2,
Which is the first stop being someplace?
Yuma. We're
Oh,
going to
Yuma.
start in Yuma.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
I might just join you.
Yep.
People said you ought to see Slab City, but the other things that they said made me think I don't really want to see Slab City, unless I'm with a good group. And
Right.
this RTR group has been great, and Bob's been great for
Yeah.
making all this possible.
Chemical Flyer, you think that if you built this, it would fall apart at a stoplight? If you use enough, I'm going to tell you, if you use enough baling wire and gray tape, you'll be good.
Duct
you'll
tape
be
and
set.
baling wire. I'm a baling
Yeah.
wire mechanic. No, and that
Yeah.
and it is actually there's a lot of Loctite of that PLX 3X and 8X glue in here.
Yeah.
And I bought the best of these silicone sealants to come around the cab, and all of the stuff on there has been the best glue and sealants that I could find.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a structural engineer looking at it, they go, I don't know if that should work because
But,
the front is kind of stick built. I got 2x2s and 2x3s around.
Well,
the
you
front.
have to have a frame.
But the back doesn't, except on the outside.
Right.
It's just just panel. But the front needed, because it's got to be built up off of that. So it has
Sure.
to be a structure. So I stuck styrofoam in between
Okay.
inside of there, and then glued the stuff on the inside.
Sure.
So, yeah, my concern with it breaking down was a lot more than my concern of it potentially falling apart.
That's right, Lady T 200-mile-per-hour tape. It will do the job. It would, by gosh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I got to show you this before I forget. Now, do you see that? It's a U-Haul, a white van, but it's a U-Haul white van. And they come out to the RTR and are camping in a U-Haul white van. I guess that's the way to go, see?
I don't think that's a bad idea.
$19.95 a day, you can camp.
You beat that, huh?
Kind of spendy, I mean. Okay.
They'll be following you down to Yuma now.
So, all right, let's see. Oh, well, you know what, Linda? Since you're last to the party and you missed the inside, I'm going to take you in there real quick. Take you a little peek.
See the inside.
Take you to, just going to give you a quick peek, and then you're going to have to watch it to see his explanations, okay? And we'll just do bam like that. I think it's great, Kenny, that you were able to just reuse things.
Oh, and it really,
you know,
that was so much of the motivation, finding parts and pieces. But it was, you know, well, it's the only way I probably would have done it. I was thinking how you can use it. Half the fun is figuring out how you can use the stuff you've got to make something that you want.
Right. You can make something that you want.
Exactly.
Anyway, people, I'm not going to make Kenny put this thing up. It's getting actually kind of chilly, and I'm feeling a few drops. So what I'm going to do is we are going to call it a day.
You want to come around and see the utilities
wait.
first?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a
Just
minute.
because people might be interested in this.
Yes, I almost forgot that, Kenny. Thank you.
No, it's one thing they hadn't seen.
Gas tank.
And it's just another.
Oh, the utility shed.
Another $5 restore door, and the instant water heater, the little short flow pump, the propane, the really standard stuff, and a 20-gallon tank underneath the
20-gallon fresh water.
20-gallon fresh water, and the gray water just runs out.
The propane.
Yeah.
And you have hot water on demand.
On demand, and it.
You suck. No.
Thank you very much.
I got to boil my water, Kenny. Look at that. Look at that. I'll tell you, this is, well, it's quite a little closet.
I'll tell you honestly, I just found that on-demand heater. I've been looking at those little eco temps, and this was, I would have never ordered one from Amazon, but I was in like an Orchland's, a little farm and home store.
Oh, yeah.
It's like $89 because they just weren't selling them.
Right.
And I got it for, less than you could get them on Amazon. Just stumbled into the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great little rig. This is a great little rig, people.
Thank you very much. Yeah, for
I tell you what,
coming over and talking
I'm loving
to me.
this.
How much did you say you built it?
Huh?
How much did you build it?
I only spent $6,000 on everything you see here. The entire thing.
6,000 simoleons for the build and for the rig itself.
And the rig and every piece that's on here.
Wow.
Of course, that doesn't count. My time isn't worth much apparently, because
Yeah. No, your time's worth a lot.
my time is worth a lot.
You put some effort into this.
And that is because I had all the old parts and pieces and things and then this was so old that it was $1,500, which is probably more than I should have paid for it. But it was a good motor. It's been rebuilt on the bottom.
Is this the horn?
That's the only horn I got.
Listen to this. Okay, Kenny.
Okay.
Anyway, people.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. Remember, when you're out there, drive safe, travel on, and you too can do this. Look what he did. An old camper, and he made it. He literally made it his. All right. Love one another if you can, and if you can't, you know what to do, guys. You walk away, or you try harder. All right. Peace.